In the late 90s and early 2000s, there was a golden era of Star Wars games. During this time, developers weren't afraid to experiment and innovate, and it led to some of the best games to date. Today, in honor of May the 4th, I'd like to take a look at some of them, starting with Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. In 1999, LucasArts released Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racing, a video game based on the iconic pod racing scene from Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. Set in the fast-paced world of pod racing, players are thrust into the cockpit of various pod racers, hurling through treacherous tracks on exotic planets in a bid for victory. Well, the story isn't anything to write home about. The gameplay is actually quite good. The pod racing mechanics at its core offers thrilling pod racing gameplay with players piloting their own chosen pod racers through intricate courses filled with twists, turns, and hazards. This game captures the high-speed excitement of the sport, allowing players to feel the rush and adrenaline as they navigate tight corners and dodge obstacles. With a large and diverse selection of pod racers to choose from, each with its own unique attributes such as speed, handling, and durability. This gives players the opportunity to find their perfect racer to suit their playstyle. Whether preferring the blistering speeds or superior maneuverability, there's a pod for everyone. Within the game, there is an upgrade system. Throughout the game, players can earn credits by completing races and use them to upgrade their pod racers with enhanced engines, better handling, and improved durability. These upgrades are essential for staying competitive and finishing the race first, as the game gets progressively more difficult as the races carry on. In addition to the single-player campaign, which allows players to compete in various tournaments and challenges, the game also features multiplayer modes that enable racers to go head-to-head against friends in split-screen or online races. This adds an extra layer of excitement and competitiveness. Overall, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer delivers an exhilarating pod racing experience that captures the essence of the beloved Star Wars universe. With its fast-paced gameplay and diverse selection of pod racers and immersive tracks, this game remains a fan favorite among Star Wars enthusiasts. In 2002, LucasArts published the game Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast by Raven Software. Serving as the second installment in the Jedi Knight series, the game follows the journey of Kyle Katarn, a former Jedi turned mercenary, as he confronts the resurgence threat of the Sith and embraces his destiny as a Jedi once more. Set in the Star Wars expanded universe, Jedi Outcast continues the story of Kyle Katarn, a skilled mercenary and former Jedi Knight who severed his connection to the Force following the events of Star Wars Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight and the Valley of the Jedi. However, when a new threat emerges in the form of Dark Jedi Desan and his followers, Kyle is reluctantly drawn back into the conflict, forced to confront his past and reclaim his Jedi heritage. As players guide Kyle through a series of missions spanning diverse locations, they unravel a gripping narrative filled with intrigue, betrayal, and redemption. Alongside iconic characters such as Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, Kyle must navigate treacherous alliances and face formidable adversaries in his quest to thwart Desan's sinister plans and restore balance to the Force. The gameplay is where this game truly shines. At the heart of Jedi Outcast lies its dynamic lightsaber combat system, allowing players to wield the iconic weapon of the Jedi with precision and finesse. With a variety of lightsaber techniques including strikes, blocks, force-powered attacks, players can engage in intense duels against enemies ranging from stormtroopers to Dark Jedi Masters. As with every good Star Wars game, there are Force powers. As Kyle reconnects with the Force, players gain access to a diverse array of Force powers, ranging from telekinesis, mind control, healing, lightning, Force push, pull, etc. These powers can be upgraded over the course of the game, granting players greater mastery over the Force and expanding their strategic options in combat and exploration. The game features a spectacular mix of linear levels and open-ended environments, allowing players to explore these iconic locations such as Jedi Academy on Yavin 4 and the Imperial Stronghold on Biss. Along the way, players must solve environmental puzzles, overcome obstacles, and unlock the hidden secrets using their wits and newfound abilities. In addition to the lightsaber combat, players can wield an assortment of ranged weapons including blasters, thermal detonators, and disruptor rifles. This allows the player to switch between action-packed third-person lightsaber-based combat to a first-person shooter as necessary to solve different environmental issues. If there's an enemy across a large map that you need to take down that's shooting you with a sniper rifle, you can pull out yours. If there's a bunch of stormtroopers that are close by, pull out your lightsaber. The choice is up to you. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast stands testament to the enduring appeal of the Star Wars franchise and the immersive storytelling potential of video games. With its engaging narrative, deep gameplay mechanics, and memorable characters, the game remains a beloved classic among fans of both Star Wars and action-adventure gaming. Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is an action game developed by Raven Software and published by LucasArts in 2003. Serving as the sequel to Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast, the game continues the story of Kyle Katarn while introducing a new protagonist, Jaden Korr. As players embark on a journey to become Jedi Knights and confront the looming threat of the Sith. Set in the Star Wars Expanded Universe, Jedi Academy follows the exploits of Jaden Korr, a young Force-sensitive student enrolled at the Jedi Academy on Yavin 4 under the tutelage of Kyle Katarn and Luke Skywalker. As Jaden progresses through various trials and missions, players shape their character's destiny by making crucial choices that determine their path as a Jedi or as a Sith. The game's narrative unfolds across a series of missions spanning diverse planets and locations, ranging from a bustling metropolis of Coruscant to the desolate wastelands of Korriban. As Jaden delves deeper into the mysteries of the Force and confronts the dark side within, players must grapple with the moral dilemmas and ethical choices that shape their character's alignment and abilities. Ultimately, the fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance as Jaden and their fellow Jedi face off against the resurgent Sith threat. Before discussing the iconic lightsaber gameplay of this magnificent title, it's worth noting that Jedi Academy offers players unprecedented freedom to customize their player's appearance, species, gender, and lightsaber style, allowing for a personalized Jedi experience. Whether wielding a single or dual-bladed lightsaber, players can tailor their combat style to suit their preferences and playstyle. With that said, let's jump into the lightsaber combat, which is more often than not hailed as the best lightsaber combat in any Star Wars game, and I would be inclined to agree. Building upon the lightsaber combat mechanics of its predecessor, Jedi Academy features fluid and responsive lightsaber duels, allowing players to engage in fast-paced melee combat against a variety of adversaries. With a wide range of lightsaber techniques, force powers, and acrobatic maneuvers at their disposal, players can unleash devastating combos and overcome formidable opponents with skill and finesse. The game's campaign is structured around a series of missions that the players can undertake as part of their training at the Academy. This is up to the player's discretion which missions they will take on in which order, allowing players to create their own unique adventure. Throughout the game, players make pivotal choices that influence the direction and narrative and shape their character's journey as a Jedi or as a Sith. These choices not only affect the outcome of individual missions, but they also determine Jaden's allegiance to the light and dark side of the Force, leading to multiple branching storylines and/or alternate endings based on the player's decisions. And lastly, this game features an incredible multiplayer mode that to this day still has a robust number of players actively participating in duels and engaging in online combat. With its immersive storytelling, dynamic gameplay mechanics, and deep customization options, Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy remains a beloved classic among fans of Star Wars, offering an unforgettable journey into the heart of the Jedi Order and the eternal struggle between light and dark. With the discussion of light and dark, I think it's time we talk about one of, if not the best Star Wars games ever made. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a critically acclaimed role-playing game developed by BioWare and published by LucasArts in 2003. Set thousands of years before the events of the Star Wars films, the game immerses players in a rich and expansive universe where they embark on an epic journey of discovery, betrayal, and redemption. Set during the tumultuous era known as the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic transports players to a galaxy in turmoil, where the Jedi Order and Sith Empire wage a bitter war for supremacy. Against this backdrop of conflict and intrigue, players assume the role of a customizable protagonist whose actions and choices shape the fate of the galaxy. As the players unravel the mysteries of their character's past and uncover a sinister plot that threatens to destroy the universe and plunge it into darkness, they must navigate a web of alliances, betrayals, and moral dilemmas that test the resolve and reshape the course of history. Along the way, players forge alliances with memorable companions, including the Jedi, Bastila Shan, the loyal Wookiee warrior, Zalbar, and the charismatic road pilot, Karth Onasi, as they embark on a quest to thwart the machinations of the Sith Lords and restore balance to the Force. The gameplay begins with deep character customization. Knights of the Old Republic offers players unprecedented freedom to create and customize their character, including choosing their gender, species, class, alignment. Whether or not embracing the light or dark side of the Force, players can tailor their character's skills, abilities, and appearance to suit their playstyle and role-playing experience. Central to the game's appeal is its branching narrative, which unfolds across multiple planets and quests, each influenced by the player's choices and actions. Whether resolving the conflicts through diplomacy, stealth, or combat, players' decisions have far-reaching consequences that shape the outcome of the story and determine their character's destiny. Combining real-time and turn-based elements, Knights of the Old Republic features strategical combat encounters, where players command a party of diverse companions in battle against a variety of enemies, including droids, Sith warriors, and monstrous beasts. With a robust combat system that emphasizes tactical positioning, resource management, and character synergies, players can overcome even the most formidable challenges through careful planning and teamwork. As the players progress through the game, they earn experience points, level up their characters, and unlock new skills, feats, and force powers that enhance their abilities and expand their tactical options in combat and through dialogue. Additionally, players can engage in meaningful conversations with NPCs, undertaking side quests, and forge relationships with companions, deepening their immersion in this game's rich and vibrant universe. At the heart of Knights of the Old Republic is its morality system, which tracks players' alignments on the moral spectrum between light and dark sides of the Force. Whether showing mercy to adversaries, sacrificing innocence for personal gain, or succumbing to the temptations of power, players' moral choices shape the narrative and unlock unique dialogue options and influence their character's appearance and abilities. With its epic storytelling, immersive role-playing mechanics, and richly detailed universe, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic stands as a landmark achievement in the history of video games, captivating players with its compelling characters, engaging gameplay, and timeless exploration of the Star Wars mythos. Whether embarking on a quest or engaging in dialogue, it is always eventful and engaging. In 2004, a landmark Star Wars title was released. Star Wars Battlefront ditches a traditional narrative-driven campaign in favor of a sandbox-style gameplay experience that emphasizes multiplayer battles and objective-based missions across a variety of planets and environments. As they engage in epic battles, inspired by iconic moments from the Star Wars films. The Star Wars Battlefront features sprawling maps and large-scale battles that captivate and capture the scope and spectacle of warfare in the Star Wars universe. From the dense forests of Endor to the barren deserts of Tatooine, each map offers a diverse terrain and strategical opportunities for players to exploit as they fight for control of key objectives and landmarks. Players can choose from 4 factions: the Rebel Alliance, Galactic Empire, Republic, and the Separatists. Each faction has its own unique roster of infantry classes, vehicles, and NPC-controlled heroes. Star Wars Battlefront features a wide variety of vehicles and mounts that players can pilot or ride into battle, including iconic Star Wars vehicles such as X-Wing starfighters, TIE fighters, AT-AT walkers, speeder bikes, and more. Whether providing air support, conducting ground assaults, or engaging in vehicle combat, vehicles add an extra layer of strategy and spectacle to the game's large-scale battles. With its immersive gameplay, stunning visuals, and faithful recreation of the Star Wars universe, Star Wars Battlefront delivers an unforgettable gaming experience that captures the essence of epic warfare in a galaxy far, far away. Whether reliving iconic battles from the original trilogy or forging new legends in the Star Wars saga, players can immerse themselves in a timeless conflict between the forces of light and darkness, in a game that continues to be cherished by the fans of the franchise. In 2005, the highly anticipated sequel to the critically acclaimed Star Wars Battlefront came out. Battlefront 2, developed by Pandemic Studios and published by LucasArts in 2005, built upon the foundation established by its predecessor. The game introduces new features, expanded gameplay mechanics, and a compelling single-player campaign that explores the untold stories of the Star Wars universe. Battlefront 2 features a robust single-player campaign that follows the elite soldiers of the 501st Legion, also known as Vader's Fist, as they embark on a journey across the galaxy to enforce the will of the Galactic Empire. Through a series of interconnected missions spanning iconic battles and locations from the Star Wars saga, players witness the rise of the Empire, the fall of the Jedi Order, and the relentless pursuit of power by Emperor Palpatine and his apprentice, Darth Vader. As the players progress through the campaign, they assume the role of a clone trooper named the Rookie, who rises through the rank of the 501st Legion and witnesses firsthand the consequences of the Empire's tyranny on the galaxy and its inhabitants. From the ashes of the Clone Wars to the climactic showdown on the forest moon of Endor, players experience the untold stories and pivotal moments that shape the fate of the Star Wars universe. Each of the 4 factions has new units and has been tweaked for better balancing. And one of the most anticipated features of Battlefront 2, in addition to its enhanced gameplay mechanics, was the addition of space battles. This allowed players to pilot iconic Star Wars spacecraft such as X-Wing starfighters, TIE fighters, the capital ships in epic dogfights and fleet engagements. With multiple objectives including destroying the enemy's capital ship, defending friendly cruisers, and boarding enemy vessels, space battles offer a thrilling and immersive gameplay experience that expands the scope of the game's warfare to the vastness of space. Building upon the hero units being introduced in the first game, Battlefront 2 takes it one step further, not only adding additional heroes, but allowing the player to take full control of the heroes and utilize their full range of abilities to turn the tide of battle. With the game allowing for 4-player split screen, online competitive battles, it truly was a landmark title. With its compelling single-player campaign, expanded multiplayer features, and immersive gameplay mechanics, Star Wars Battlefront 2 delivers an epic gaming experience that transports players to a galaxy far, far away. Whether reliving iconic battles from the Star Wars saga or forging new legends on the battlefield, players can immerse themselves in the grueling conflict that is the Star Wars saga. Another Star Wars game released in 2005 was Star Wars Republic Commando. It was a tactical shooter video game released and developed by LucasArts. Set during the Clone Wars era of the Star Wars universe, the game follows the elite Delta Squad, a team of clone commandos as they undertake a dangerous mission behind enemy lines and uncover a sinister plot that threatens the Republic's war effort against the Confederacy of Independent Systems. In Star Wars Republic Commando, players assume the role of RC-1138, also known as Delta 38 or Boss, the leader of Delta Squad, a highly skilled unit of clone commandos bred and trained for combat. As Boss, players lead their squad mates Sev, Fixer, and Scorch on a series of covert missions across various planets including Geonosis, Kashyyyk, and the direct spacecraft Prosecutor, as they confront the droid armies of the Separatists and unravel a conspiracy orchestrated by the enigmatic Geonosian scientist Sun Fac. Throughout the game, players must utilize the unique abilities and specialized equipment of each commando, such as demolition charges, sniper rifles, computer slicing tools, and more, to overcome enemy defenses, neutralize threats, and accomplish their objectives. With the fate of the Republic hanging in the balance, Delta Squad must navigate treacherous environments, engage in intense firefights, and adapt to changing circumstances as they face off against droid armies. Republic Commando emphasizes tactical squad-based gameplay, allowing players to issue commands to their squad mates, coordinate attacks, and execute specialized tactics to gain the upper hand in combat. With intuitive command controls and contextual orders, players can direct their squad mates to perform tasks such as breaching doors, setting up sniper positions, providing cover, enhancing the strategic depth and immersive gameplay of the experience as the campaign progresses. It's worth noting that each member of Delta Squad has unique traits and abilities. Within combat, who you protect, who you help keep alive, and who you issue orders to will help determine your success within battle. The game's narrative unfolds through a series of interconnected missions that immerse players in the gritty realization of what the Clone Wars was and what the lives of the clone troopers were. Like its contemporaries of its time, the game featured multiplayer. This mode allowed players to engage in intense multiplayer battles as clone troopers or droids across a variety of game modes and maps. With support for up to 16 players online or via LAN, players can team up with friends or compete against rivals in fast-paced, objective-based matches that test their skills, coordination, and teamwork in the heat of battle. With its innovative gameplay mechanics, engaging story, and immersive atmosphere, Star Wars Republic Commando offers an unforgettable gaming experience that celebrates the heroic exploits of the clone troopers in a tumultuous era of the Clone Wars. Whether leading the Delta Squad into battle or uncovering the secrets of the galaxy, players can immerse themselves in this adrenaline-fueled action and tactical challenge of the Star Wars universe. Star Wars Empires at War is a real-time strategy game developed by Petroglyph Games and was published by LucasArts in 2006. Set during the Galactic Civil Era, the game allows players to command the forces of the Rebel Alliance, Galactic Empire, or the criminal underworld as they vie for control of the galaxy through military conquest, diplomatic maneuvering, and strategic planning. The story is that the player assumes the role of a military commander tasked with leading their chosen faction to victory in a galactic conquest between the Rebel Alliance or the Galactic Empire. Whether rallying the Rebel Alliance to overthrow the Imperial tyranny, enforcing Imperial rule through military might, or carving out a criminal empire in its lawless outer rim, players must navigate a complex web of alliances, betrayals, and shifting loyalties as they strive to achieve their objective and emerge triumphant in a struggle for galactic dominance. Empire at War emphasizes strategic gameplay, allowing players to command fleets of starships, deploying ground forces, and managing resources as they expand their influence and control over the galaxy. With intuitive controls, dynamic AI, responsive feedback, players can engage in epic battles, coordinate multi-pronged attacks, and outmaneuver their opponents in real time. Whether engaging in space battles or ground skirmishes, players must employ a variety of tactics, formations, and unit compositions in order to achieve victory against their adversaries. Players must manage a diverse array of resources, including credits, ore, and fuel, to fund their war effort and sustain their military campaigns. By capturing and controlling resource-rich planets, constructing mining facilities, and investing in research and development, players can enhance their faction's capabilities and unlock advanced technologies and gain access to powerful units and upgrades that tip the scales of battle in their favor. With its strategic depth, immersive gameplay, and faithful adaptation of the Star Wars universe, Star Wars Empires at War offers an unparalleled real-time strategy experience that allows players to command the forces of the Rebel Alliance, Galactic Empire, or Underworld factions as they engage in war for control of the galaxy. And last but not least, Star Wars The Force Unleashed is an action game developed by LucasArts and published by LucasArts and THQ in 2008. Set in the dark times between the events of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, the game explores an untold story of Starkiller, Darth Vader's secret apprentice, as he embarks on a journey of self-discovery, redemption, and rebellion against the Galactic Empire. In The Force Unleashed, players assume the role of Starkiller, a young Force-sensitive orphan trained in the ways of the dark side by Darth Vader to serve as his personal assassin and enforcer. As Starkiller, players embark on a perilous quest across the galaxy to eliminate the last remnants of the Jedi Order, crush the Rebel Alliance, and establish Vader's dominance over the galaxy. However, as Starkiller delves deeper into his mission and confronts the horrors of the Empire's tyranny, he begins to question his loyalty to Vader and the dark side. Inspired by the ideals of the Rebel Alliance and guided by his growing conscience, Starkiller sets out to defy his master, free himself from Vader's control, and forge his destiny as a champion of freedom and justice for the galaxy. As players progress through the game's campaign, they encounter iconic characters from the Star Wars universe, including Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Princess Leia, and General Kota as they navigate a complex web of alliances, betrayals, and revelations that shape Starkiller's destiny and the fate of the galaxy itself. The game features a complex and engaging hack-and-slash style gameplay. This fast-paced hack-and-slash lightsaber combat allows players to unleash devastating attacks, combos, and force powers against their enemies with fluid animations and responsive controls. As Starkiller, players have access to a wide range of force powers and abilities that allow them to manipulate objects, control minds, and unleash destructive energies against their enemies. Throughout the campaign, you will engage in epic boss battles against iconic villains from the Star Wars saga, including Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, and the monstrous Rancor. To top it off, one of the game's standout features is its dynamic environmental destruction and interactivity, allowing players to use the Force, or really the advanced physics engine, to manipulate objects, demolish structures, and unleash chaos on the battlefield. From collapsing bridges to crumbling buildings to explosive chain reactions and physics-based puzzles, players can use the environment to their advantage to turn the tide of battle in their favor. With its immersive storyline, exhilarating gameplay, and groundbreaking use of the Force, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed offers an unforgettable and unparalleled gameplay experience that transports players to a galaxy far, far away. When in the modern era of Star Wars games, games are releasing before they are fully complete, functioning, optimized, and companies are striving to push you towards the very expensive DLC version. Sometimes it's nice to look back at the golden era of Star Wars gaming. I truly believe this is the best time for Star Wars games, and if you haven't played any of the games on this list, I would highly suggest and recommend that you give them a shot. Thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe.